program. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. 651-775-9194 is the number to call. That call is with no cost and absolutely no obligation. Talk to the lovely and talented Sheila, and she'll get you started in the right direction. On this show, we examine the 4 pillars of a healthy home. They are the structure and location, the interior and ecosystem, your personal health, and your emotional and spiritual well-being. And today we are really going to be focusing on personal health today because we have I've been looking forward to this show all week. We've got Mike Dwork on the program, the development director for
Close enough.
Hope Dental Clinic. And we're going to be talking about, well, Sheila loves talking about cavitations and teeth and what do you call them? When you get the tooth drilled out, root canals and all that stuff.
Is this a quiz?
Yeah, no, it's just okay. She likes talking about all that. You're the development director for Hope Dental Clinic, and before we get on to that, we'll get into all of that stuff. But I want to kind of know what your background is. What brought you there? Because you just started the job in November, and you've got quite a storied background in terms of communication and work of this type with other companies all over the globe.
Yeah.
So can you give us just a little, 10-minute synopsis of that activity and what brought you here today?
10 minutes or 10 seconds?
Well, whatever. Not 10 seconds. A little bit longer than that.
I've always been mission-driven. I just have. I just felt like I couldn't do anything unless there was a purpose behind it. It just felt empty to me. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be impact, to be something going on. And so that's kind of how the Lord directed my path. Media, marketing, development kind of stuff. And so I worked for different organizations throughout the years, and the nonprofits were global. So I've been to 30 different countries, I think.
Wow.
Lived overseas in Prague and did media training in all Eastern Central Europe, so a bunch of countries over there. And my wife and I are on the same page with that, so it's been a really fun experience in that with her.
So everything was media training.
No, everything wasn't media training. It was a lot of it was media. So I mean, we're on a Salem station. I worked with Salem Corporate before.
Okay.
When I was at Bible League, we did media campaigns to raise funds for Bibles in different parts of the world. This was the project I worked with. One was in Kenya, one was in Nigeria. So we took all the personalities over there and worked with them and helped them get content, interviews, all that kind of stuff. Come back, raise funds to get Bibles in different language groups. And so we did that. So it's been kind of a storytelling, how do we get the good content? What's the context? Why do I care? I always tell people are not going to care until we make them care. And so you got to make them care by saying, this is compelling. I had no idea. And so that's what's kind of driven me. And so that's what I've been a part of. And I hadn't done it for a few years because the last nonprofit I worked at was not the most, shall I say, emotionally rewarding experience.
Okay.
I thought, I'm not going to go back there again, so it took me a while. So then all of a sudden I started sending out resumes to different places, and I didn't even send cover letters. I just said, here I am.
Yeah.
And so our son and his family live up here. We were planning on coming up and seeing him, and I get a call from Jen, the executive director at Hope, like the Wednesday before we leave, and she said, hey, I got your resume. And I said, when did I send that out?
Yeah, really.
And so I said, so we talked. She said, I'd like to talk to you.
I just happened to be coming.
So I'm coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
She said, yes. So we met on Monday, and she Zoomed in one of their board members, and after we were done, and I mean, I just said, here it is. I don't know if I'm trying to sell myself or not. And so at the end of the thing, she said, well, I'll be sending you an offer by the end of the week. And I went, you're kidding me. You want me?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
right.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now Sheila, take us back to the child, where you.
Yeah, where'd you grow up?
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Because there is a little bit, it's not Minnesota. So
No, and radio people, we try to be purist. So we try to stay in the middle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So all accents.
People can't say, man, I don't know where that guy's from.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, no, we grew up in Lincoln, but we lived all over the place. So
and then you came here because your kids are here?
Came here for the job, and then it worked out well because our kids are here and our grandson is here.
Yeah.
And so that makes a difference too.
Makes a big difference, yeah.
All right, so to bring you here right now, we're talking about Hope Dental Clinic. And to me, are you a dentist?
No.
No. All right. So we got that part out of the way. So.
My dad was this true story. My dad was a dentist, and I thought, well, at one point he was extracting a wisdom tooth from my wife, and so I thought, oh, I'll watch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, when he made the incision, the room started going around. I said, okay, I'm done. he said, you're kind of a pansy, and I went, okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
So we left, but no, I'm not. Dad was a dentist. My brother, my nephews, all that kind of stuff. I am not. So,
our dentists.
Yeah, they were.
So just look at that, and now you wind up doing this kind of work.
I know.
For a dental clinic.
My mom goes, your dad would be so proud.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about Hope Dental Clinic and what makes this clinic, first of all, different than any of the other 5,000 dental clinics there in the Twin Cities.
Well, it's the largest free dental clinic in Minnesota.
Largest.
Free. Dental, and I want to say free because people come in, they don't pay, and we get people coming in with some pretty acute situations.
I can only
imagine. We've talked about that, right? And your history and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's critical. If they don't get the help they need, then it can go south pretty quick. And we've seen that. So we're able to step in and go, we got this. If people come in that are scared to death, but that's what we do. And so we're open Monday through Friday. We'll do special clinics from time to time. We did a special surgeon clinic on the 21st, was January, which was a Saturday. So we had a bunch of surgeons come in.
Mm-hmm.
All of our doctors are volunteer.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
So can anyone come in?
Volunteer.
You have to meet a certain criteria. You can't be insured, and it's 150 to 200% below the poverty, national poverty level. So
you
can't
how do you prove that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
how do you prove
I come
it?
in, I come in and I say I don't have the money. I don't have insurance.
Well, if you can do that, then you can get in probably.
Yeah. Because Sheila dresses like she's poor most of the time anyhow, so she always looks like a ragamuffin.
I've seen the car she drives, so I don't know about that.
Or she's wearing her pajamas most of the time.
Yeah, right. Wearing my pajamas.
No, there's the people up front. They know how to screen that
and
figure all that out. But most of them come in desperate because there's not really any good dental insurance out there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't get much out there. Even if you can, there's a waiting period. There's like $1,200 a year. That's not going to cover hardly anything.
Yeah, right.
So they come in and we just go, okay, what's going on here? Let's get you taken care of.
So is it like walk-in? And do you have to have appointments?
Yes.
Both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, we've had people walk in and they're it's acute, it's critical. Well, we got to take care of this, so we'll do that. But by and large, people make appointments and come in. That way, we can schedule the doctors to come in to make sure we have patients lined up. So the scheduling is all in play too.
And are those dentists, doctors? Are they mostly like retired volunteers or?
It's both. We have one of our main volunteers. She's amazing. She's a rock star. Is Dr. Hermanson, and she's retired. And she's kept everything up. And she comes in on Thursdays, and she does all kinds of unbelievable work. She's so wonderful. But we have doctors who are still practicing. I got an email the other day from a guy who his expertise is in root canals and implants.
Okay.
And so he said, hey, I got some time on this afternoon on this day with that work. I'd like to come in and volunteer. So it's all across the board. Yeah.
Wow.
What's the history of this? What's the genesis of this? Who started it? When did they start it? How long has it been up and running?
Started about 50 years ago with Union Gospel Mission.
Okay.
In St. Paul, the inner city thing. And they had it in the basement of their facility, and I guess it was not the brightest place. But then 5 years ago, they decided we need to branch off, and so a group of doctors came together, raised the funds to open up the new clinic, and it's beautiful. I mean, there's 6 operatories, there's a Panorex machine, there's beautiful lobby. People walk in, they go, "Gosh, this is like a regular dental office."
Do they have a cone beam scan?
No.
Okay, so I want to know something about the structure of the company, and we talked a little bit about the doctors and stuff coming in and all that stuff. The service there performed. Any limitations on services performed?
No, and if it's too much, I mean, if they come in and one lady I talked to a couple weeks ago, she came in with this huge abscess. I mean, it was just starting going up into her ear. We took care of it. We had to get the infection under control first, right?
Oh, I'm sure. It's going up into
goes.
the brain. Yeah,
exactly.
I do know how that goes, yes.
So we took care of that, and she said, I don't know what I'd have done if I'd have found you guys, because it was starting to go.
How did she hear about you guys?
She heard from a friend or researched it online, saw that we were free, and she came in. She goes, you guys were wonderful. So,
and that's your job now, is to make that
Yeah.
easier.
Easier. We just
For
want people to come in. We want people to know about it.
Mhm.
You know, we want more people to come in and get help because there are more, and we'll talk about the numbers, but there's more people than ever before that need free dental care.
We're in the studio with Mike from Hope Dental Clinic, a free clinic. I never heard of a free clinic. I always think you got VD or something, but this is a Red Door clinic.
Different kind of
This
clinic.
is a different kind of a free clinic here. This is a
It's
free
a different era, honey.
dental clinic.
About the 60s.
Yeah, about the 60s. A free dental clinic, Hope Dental Clinic, absolutely free, which is amazing to me. Yeah. Started out in, I think it was 1965, if I'm not mistaken, from Union Gospel Mission. Stayed in that facility for a long time, and now moved to a freestanding facility.
Right.
How long ago?
5 years ago. We're like our 5th anniversary.
Okay, wonderful. 5 years in a freestanding facility. Thousands and thousands of people. Do you have any idea how many patients you've served over the history of the company?
Yeah, but I can't come up with the number.
Okay,
right
all right. Well, I know that according to the website here,
More than
just
a few.
last year, I don't know if this is, it says dental procedures performed 9,972, almost 10,000 procedures performed. Hours donated by volunteers, over 8,000. A lot of volunteers in there. Other than dentists, are like staff and...
Well, we have staff.
Okay.
So we have
volunteer staff or paid staff?
both.
Okay.
So, but we'll have got a partnership like with Metro State. They have a dental
School.
therapy
okay,
school
got
kind
it.
of thing. So they come in once a week and they're students, but they have professors and people. And with the University of Minnesota, so they're dental school. They'll bring people in, that kind of stuff. So we have partnerships where they'll bring folks in, but yeah, we're 100% as far as the work. We're 100% volunteer run with doctors and hygienists and assistants, all that kind of stuff. We do have a hygienist on staff. We have 2 assistants on staff. Myself, our executive director, and then we have Erica, who basically runs the place. She's in charge of everything else and making sure everything runs well. So there's a couple clinic directors that are kind of part-time and whatever. But
Do you go to the office every day?
No, sometimes I
No?
work from home. Sometimes
Okay.
I'm out meeting with people.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't want to be in the office if I can meet with people.
So if someone's listening and they want to volunteer, can anyone just call up and say, I'd like to volunteer?
Yeah, we got all kinds of needs. I
Okay.
mean, in the world of development or marketing or social media stuff, we use all the help we can because that's kind of on me. And
What's your greatest need today?
oh boy, that's a good question.
I have my greatest need. I can't say it on air.
So there,
So
other than finances and a facelift, I don't know. I think it's probably just more dentists, more professionals to help out. And then we need some admin help. We need some volunteer admin help. People will come in and just say, I'm really good at this, and I can give you 10 hours a week or whatever. We can help with that too. So
how are you dealing with capacity? I mean, are you like you guys are full and busy, or can you handle more?
we can handle more.
And then what's the plan for expansion? Because we're promoting this thing, and you're doing outreach now. You're going to have more people.
Good.
How do you deal? What's the plan on dealing with that? And describe, if you could, the constraints of working with a nonprofit and how that is different than working with a for-profit company.
Well, we're obviously limited by funds, what we can do. And although the majority of the work, the dental work and all that kind of stuff, done through volunteer, through dentists and doctors and so forth, the other part of it is we just need funds to run the place because we pay rent. It's a pretty good size space.
Sure.
We're in the process of trying to get a nitrous oxide system put in where we can feed it to all the operatories because that's a huge need. We haven't been able to do that before, but we're trying to get some funding for that right now. So there's different things like that for the funding piece of it. But as far as expansion is concerned, we have room. We've got 6 operatories that are open 5 days a week, like 9 in the morning, I think, until 9 at night. I mean, there's 2 different shifts that come in. So there's space in their capacity. We love to help people.
So
Do
the
you do the-
infrastructure is in place.
Yeah.
Do you do like the galas and all of that to raise?
We don't have the number of people to do a gala yet.
Okay.
That's my job. We're trying to
Okay.
get there. When I came, it was 70%, 80% funded by grants, foundation stuff.
Okay.
So they just wanted someone to come in and help them kind of build this piece up, and let's get some partnerships going. Let's talk to people who might be interested, and so that's what I'm trying to do.
So is your goal then to like corporate sponsors and corporate partnerships and things like that, or more retail?
Yep.
Both.
Yeah.
All the above.
Yeah, when I was in Denver and worked, it was in Douglas County outside of Denver, and it's the ninth most affluent county in America. And we were doing what people would call a food bank. We changed it up, said it's a free food market. So people go, okay, you're in the ninth most affluent county, and people need food. I don't think so. Look at how they live. But the reality of it is, and this is affecting us too, is the expansion of suburban poverty. There are more people living in poverty now in the suburbs in America than the urban centers, and that's been going on for a while. It outpaces urban poverty by 10% a year.
Wow.
And that includes in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We have more people in poverty in the suburbs. So the people that are coming to us from the suburbs, we get people driving in hours from Wisconsin to come in for help. So it's far reaching, so the need is. And
so it doesn't matter what state you're in.
No,
you can
if you have need, come on in. So we were trying to figure out different things. I built some good relationships with corporations, businesses, with the largest real estate. This will chime in with you guys. The largest real estate company in Colorado. They loved what we were doing, became a huge partner. They actually did 2 fundraising events for us. I didn't have to do anything except for show up and pontificate.
Wow.
So,
talk about the partnering with other states, because, like you said, I mean, this is not a local problem.
No.
This is a national problem.
That
so, when you're partnering with other states, are there other clinics like this in other states?
I suppose there are. I mean, haven't spent a lot of time looking into that.
Okay.
We've got enough to do here.
So right now there's no network.
No.
That you
like
could
you guys
plug
get
into.
Together and
No.
Yeah.
We're standalone.
Okay.
Yeah, we're standalone.
So that puts a pretty big burden then
Yeah, it does.
on you
Yeah.
and on the board really
Yeah.
to kind of create something
Yeah.
that has not been created before
Right.
anywhere else that you're aware of.
Yeah, we've got the story put together, the context of the need, everything else, the numbers, all of that kind of stuff, and the people we've helped and what's meant to them. That part is in place. I just want to get out and talk to more people and just development directors, their joke is their handshake is a palm up.
Yeah.
Give me money.
Yeah.
That's not it. If I tell a story, well, here's what's going on. Here's the context. Here's the need. Here's the impact. Then at that point, I want them saying, I had no idea. What can I do to help?
I have the $1 million question.
All right.
Got $1 million check. I'll take it.
So your dad,
Yeah.
your brothers, that whole dentist family.
Yeah.
Do you go to them for help?
I have.
Okay.
I will. Yeah, I continue to nurture
because I mean they're in it, right? Like they're passionate about dentistry.
They get
and now
it.
you're,
They know me.
Yeah. Right.
And I've also got another nephew that's well-to-do. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
So yeah, we go into all players.
I want to talk about community impact and what you think that the impact is on the community having a place like this available.
Sure.
Outside of the individual, I got my tooth filled or I got my tooth pulled or something like that. Is there any stories that you can share with us that demonstrates the importance of having a facility like this in the community?
Well, I mean, I could just tell you that there's 1.5 million Minnesotans without dental insurance.
Wow.
Over 50% of seniors have no access to any kind of oral health care. So and with seniors,
say it again. Seniors, how many?
It's like over 50% of that is it's like 800 and some thousand seniors in Minnesota that don't have access to any kind of oral health care. And you know this. So if you have Alzheimer's or dementia and you start to slide, you don't take care of your teeth, things just get worse.
Right. Yeah, you don't take care of everything.
It affects so many things. So
Right.
to be able to come in and say, you know what, we're gonna reach out, we're gonna do more with seniors, do more with kids, we're gonna do more with veterans because
sure.
the VA is not real good at taking care of dental stuff for them.
Right.
So there's a lot of different groups that are in need,
Mm-hmm.
and so for us to be able to go in and say, and we're already doing it in some circles, for us to go back in and just say we're gonna do this and it's free and you get your people to come in here. So
Right.
that's what we want to do.
What a wonderful opportunity for corporations to partner with you on behalf of their employees.
Yeah.
Because
Like an employee match thing.
yes,
Yeah.
because many of their employees most likely don't have dental insurance, and the healthier that they can keep those workers, and then they're going to have less sick days. They're going to have just a general overall wellness, and it's a demonstration of from the employer of how they also the bottom line is the bottom line. Everybody gets it. They're in business to make money.
Sure.
Let's not hide from that. But yes, Sheila.
Do you have a relationship with other dentists that say, what, we can't take, these people because they can't pay for it?
Yeah.
And refer you out?
Yep.
Yeah. So
they send folks over.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Because, you're absolutely right. One of the problems with Medicaid and Medicare is that dental offices can't operate on that because they lose money.
Sure.
So they can only take very few. So even if you have the small amount of dental coverage with Medicare or Medicaid, you're going to have a hard time finding a dentist that'll take that just because of the financial, and we get that.
Right.
So, but from that, we're here for those guys to send people over to.
Hey, welcome back to the program. I'm Keith Hittner Sr., along with the lovely and talented Sheila Hittner. And this is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. Okay, Sheila, you got some stuff coming up. Let's crank it out.
On my grave
Let's
site.
see what you got.
So today is all about healthy air and healthy lungs, right? So it's getting nice outside.
Yeah.
Right? We're getting out there, but it's actually your home's air. Okay. So how safe is the air in your home?
Good question.
It is, right. So did you know the air inside our homes can be 2 to 5 times more polluted than the outside air?
I believe that.
Yep. Or that the EPA revealed that the indoor air pollution can contribute to health risks like headaches, dizziness, fatigue, heart disease, and even the big C. Okay. And so the indoor air pollution is common in most industrialized cities, right, which makes sense. It's a major concern considering that we spend 90% of our lives indoors. In the winter, the house is closed up. In the summer, we've got the air on. So there you go. So in other words, if you're someone who cares about their health and their family's health, the quality of the air you breathe shouldn't be ignored, right? So I'm here to help you with that. If you're concerned about the quality of the air in your home, especially if any of your loved ones struggle with allergies, respiratory issues, or suspect that there's mold in your home, right? Call me, 651-775-9194 for a personal look into your home. I will help you with that. So you can just text, call me, or go to ourhealthyhomes.com and click on the Contact Me button, and I will also send you a free 21 essential oil diffuser recipe.
Super.
So the thing that people have this concept about is that the diffuser is just pretty and it puts a scent in the air. It puts oxygen in the air, and then depending on what essential oils you put in, has properties that can do certain things. So one, I'll give you just a little heads up. One of the recipes on the 21 diffuser download that I will send you is a goodbye allergy blend. And so that contains lavender, lemon, and peppermint. It has to be a certain ratio, but that can go in the diffuser. It can go in a roller ball, and it will help you and your family be able to
especially
to
at this
better.
time of the year when people are starting to, things
Stuff.
are coming up. The oak leaves are coming up, and it seems like every year I get this kind of little tickle in my throat about this time of the year. I don't know what you've been diffusing in the house, but I have not had that this year. It's just like, and now I said it. I suppose next week it'll start, but I haven't had it so far this year.
Did you want to?
Sticking to it.
Yeah. So, did you want to share your testimonial about speaking about the breathing and coming in?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because
All
I wasn't
right.
prepared to do that.
Okay.
So, disabilities. So when we went out to break, we talked about disabilities. And I'm curious about, because we've been doing some work with people who are disabled. They have children that are disabled, and it changes the entire dynamics of the household because everything seems to revolve around them, and many times their financial resources are depleted, and they have a hard time doing some of the normal maintenance, I guess, and dental certainly would be one of them. With these kids that are disabled, some of them physically disabled, some of them mentally, emotionally, however you want to. How do you handle that in your facility? I mean, do you have like handicap access chairs and special areas where people can go in who are disabled, staff there that can help them get in and out of the...
Well, the facility has ramps and elevators, so that's nice, so they can get up to us. But we can facilitate whatever and take care of folks.
The other part about that is many of them are on. You mentioned it the last segment how you go to a regular doctor if they're on Medicaid, Medicare, whatever it is, it just doesn't cover it.
Right.
So do you take them in? You pay. You don't charge them anything.
No.
But do you take advantage of that resource?
No, we don't take any insurance.
So how can no insurance?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it seems like you leave money laying on the table there. I'm just talking to myself. I'm just thinking out loud here. But
Right.
so
business over there.
So it's just like they come in and then they ignore all that and
Yep.
you can go ahead and have that facility.
Yep.
Speaking of kids and children, you've got an event coming up in May that addresses that. Tell us about kids and the impact that
Sure.
dentistry or lack thereof has on kids and families.
Well, untreated cavities, dental issues with kids, number one health issue in America and the world. It is. There are a ton of that. I just want to tell you a quick story. The Diamante Driver, if you ever heard of him, 9-year-old boy, lived in the Northeast, got an infection, his tooth. They sent the Medicaid re-enrollment, whatever, to the wrong address. They didn't get that. He had signed up. They didn't have the insurance. They tried desperately to find different people that would take him. They wouldn't, so it got worse, went into his brain. 2 brain operations later,
What?
he died. $80 procedure, he died. And that's not uncommon. It's just not uncommon. There's over 51 million hours of school missed every year because of dental issues with kids. And you talk about the impact on families. So kid can't go to school, parents can't work because they got to stay home. They got to take them, they got to try to find help, whatever they need to do. So it just has a ripple effect. So it really has a lot of impact. So we're pretty passionate about kids and teaching oral hygiene, and we do that. We go to schools. We're in a community that's somewhat diverse. We have a Hmong community, Hispanic community, and others that can come in, and we can go to the schools, and we have interpreters and translators that work at Hope that can help them.
So you teach hygiene.
We do.
So I have a question. Do you know what oil pulling is?
No, that's above my pay grade.
Which is part of hygiene, right? It's one of our natural parts of mouth and teeth hygiene.
Okay.
And it's basically just coconut oil, and you swish it around in your
yeah.
mouth for 20 minutes,
Coconut
and you
oil's-
spit it out, and it pulls out the bacteria and all the bad stuff. I mean,
coconut oil
it's
is
just
magic.
it is magic,
Yeah, it
and
is
it's just some of those simple things that anybody could do with
Right.
some resources.
Yeah.
Tell us about
That's great. We'll get you to volunteer. Come on in.
Yeah,
You
come
can
on
go
in.
You've got to school and teach us stuff. So
bring your coconut oil
Yeah,
with you.
I would
That's
love
right.
to. Let's do it.
Here
I
she
can't
is.
talk for 10 minutes, so
Okay, I
let's
want to
rob
talk
for me.
9 o'clock. You're open till 9 p.m.
yes, yeah.
That's crazy.
That in itself is amazing to me.
We just
Yeah.
want to be accessible to people when they need it, because if you're limited as far as access, that's why I have different dentists come in at different times.
Sure.
So it's not one person has to be there all the time.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about this 51 million hours lost in school and the downtime of the parents having to take their child, stay home, take their child,
Right.
recover, whatever it is,
Right.
by being open this late in the evening, it allows them to not
Not
have
miss work.
Right.
not
And,
miss work, maybe have the child not miss school.
Right.
Yep.
Because you have a toothache, you don't have to miss school because you got a toothache. You can put,
Yeah.
it's just a wonderful thing.
We actually had a child come in that was in the same situation as Diamante Driver was.
How old was he?
12, I think. But we were able to get on top of it. We took care of it, got him the help that he needed, and it was a different story.
Yes,
So
right.
With a different outcome.
different
Right.
outcome.
Yeah. Talk about now this event. I don't know if we talked about it. This,
Give kids a smile.
We didn't.
this Give Kids a Smile May 19th and
Yeah.
20th event.
Bring kids in. It's free. And have your kids checked out. We do a little keeping oral hygiene, and teach them how to brush. Make sure they have their own toothbrush because some homes don't, so they share them. That can spread bacteria.
Oh,
So they
yes,
have their-
again. That's why.
they
See,
have
stay
their
away
own-
from my stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, right.
But but they own toothpaste, own toothbrush, how to floss, all that kind of just preventative stuff. And we do that anyway because when people come in, it's their pain is their why. Finally gets them in. We don't want to come back here, do you? Well, let's show you how to prevent that. So as we do, and so it's free. It's those 2 days. It's at the clinic. We have flyers in schools in Hmong, Spanish, English. So
Darn, I'm going to be gone.
yeah.
What's the expected outcome, in terms of numbers? How many kids do you have any idea? How many are you staffing up for or preparing for? Or must have some idea.
That's a great question. It depends on when it falls, because this is a national campaign through the ADA. So,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
there's other clinics that are doing it. So it just kind of depends on when it falls. So we've seen just a full-on staff and busy for those 2 days, and we've seen where it's so-so. And but anyway, we want to make it available to them so they get help.
How often do you do this? Just
Twice a year.
Twice a year. When's the second time?
In the fall.
In the fall.
Let's talk about ADA for just a second. Got a minute and change left in the segment here. The American Dental Association. How do they feel about this? I mean, isn't this like in direct competition with their dentists?
In some ways, but we're also alleviating some of the stress because, right, we talked about before that they can't take a lot of folks have that kind of need, right? So okay, that's great. We can go ahead. We can send you to Hope. They'll take good care of you. Right. So it's not just
because they couldn't take them anyway.
Yeah.
Talk about transportation when we come back. I want to talk a little bit about getting people to and from the clinic because you're in St. Paul.
Right.
And I may have someone that has a need that's in the western suburbs someplace.
Or in Wisconsin.
Right. And talk about getting them to and from the clinic if there's any service or resources available for that. When we come back from break, this is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. I'm Keith Hittner Sr. with the lovely and talented Sheila Hittner. All right, so we're going to finish up here with our Hope Dental Clinic. And we talked about they've got a May event coming up, 19th and 20th of May. Kids come in, get free screening, teach them how to brush their teeth.
Just kids.
Get them their toothbrush.
So don't try to come in.
What's considered kids, 18 and under or? Okay.
Yeah.
Come in with you give them a toothbrush when they walk out the door?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Floss, toothpaste.
Super duper. What about seniors? I mean, we have an aging population, and we have enough. As the Biden administration has crushed the economy, so we got people coming into retirement. 401ks aren't what they were. Retirement packages aren't what they were, and so forth and so on. So how can we give them some dental care?
Same way we do everybody. And we are going to be much more intentional moving forward about going into senior centers and places to say, hey, we have this.
Senior center, I never even thought of that.
Yeah, and in different places where just say, we can offer this. And a lot
you
of
got
times,
a lot of work ahead of yourself.
Oh, we do, yeah. But you know what? That's all right. I'm driven by mission, so I love this. The impact is pretty insane. 85-year-old lady and her husband came in a couple weeks ago. They've been missionaries their whole life. They came back. They had no money. He had no insurance, and they needed some help. He was having all kinds of problems. They didn't know where to go. So they found out about Hope, and they came in. And they've been in multiple times, and she goes, I love you guys.
Yeah. Do you ever go to churches and talk? Or?
Well, I want to. So,
Okay.
yeah. I've done that before in other places I've been. So that's on the it's on the
it's
list.
on the list.
Yeah, of things to do. But you're talking about seniors and the different things that can affect Alzheimer's, arthritis, cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. Because when plaque, which is bacteria, gets into your system, it'll mess up
messes it up.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. And so we're going to try to help with that whole space too, because every day 10,000 Americans are turning 65, and I was telling you guys by 2050 they're projecting that homelessness among seniors will increase 100%.
That's something.
That's tragic.
It's crazy.
It's tragic. So we need to take better care of them.
Right.
And we can.
Right.
And we do already. We have a lot of seniors that come in, but we want more.
And when people get into that, seniors, yes, anyone in general, limited resources. And so the first thing is just to survive.
Yeah.
So I need food.
Yep.
I need to have, the very, very basics. And so it seems like healthcare in particular and dental in as an example is like the last thing that you can let it slide.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not in pain, it's good.
But it's the most critical because of the mouth being what it is and what it houses and how it gets to the body and it's a biggie.
Yes, it is a biggie. We've seen it and we continue to see it. So we know the numbers out there. We know what needs to be done. We just want to do more, want to help more people.
Does the clinic partner with any providers in terms of transportation? Because with these homeless people and with these seniors who are, many of them don't drive, don't have a vehicle, don't have a means of getting from a western suburb over to St. Paul or from Wisconsin to St. Paul to have dental work. How do you address that?
Well, there are different senior organizations that have transportation. They have shuttles or whatever, so they can give them like senior rides and that kind of stuff. So there is that part of it, but that is something we need to address, and so we're looking at different ways. How can we figure out like Lyft or Uber vouchers or different things like that, or how can we? Now the insurance part would be an issue for us to do it on our own. I mean, you got liability and all that kind of stuff, but there are some partnerships out there that we want to look at, be able to be more accessible to folks who can't get in to see us, because that's an issue.
When you're looking at that, and have you been because you've been there for just a short time, so we're hitting you with a lot of questions that someone that had was there for 5 years could maybe have a better handle on. But when you're looking at their 5-year plan or their whatever multi-year plan, is there a thought of, well, maybe we could put smaller centers around to better serve the area so that we can do that? Or is it the thought that we need to concentrate our efforts in one facility because getting people here is a easier task to manage than to manage multiple locations and the overhead that comes with that burden?
It's both. I think short term, we have a great facility. We have space. It's wonderful. We want to get more people to come in and just, I mean, I can't tell you the number of people that come in and go, I had no idea it was this nice. You guys are so friendly. I felt so welcome. Man, the lady that we helped, she was in acute pain. I mean, she didn't want to come in. She was in tears in the waiting area because she had a traumatic experience as a child. She said they were drilling my teeth and it felt like they didn't give me a Novocaine. I was screaming to poor people to hold me down and I was all that kind of stuff. She didn't want to go back in. She's 57 years old and she's out there in panic mode and tears.
Right.
I said, so how'd it go? And she goes, oh, you made me feel so welcome. Every other place they made me feel ashamed of my teeth because I already felt that way. So we have a great place, a great culture, great atmosphere, and great care. So to get more people to come here, now to replicate that, you could do it a couple different ways. You can look at, do we remote offices, or do we try to figure out how do we take a remote clinic out? There's all that kind of stuff, but funding wise, we need to get this bad boy ramped up and going.
Or even if there's if you could a network of clinics like this that are independent, and
almost
working
a franchise
together,
model or something.
Working together in harmony would seem to be a good practice too. Where if people want to volunteer or want to donate, how can they do that, and where could they go for that?
Just go to the website, Hope Dental Clinic, and you'll see a place where it says Get Involved. There's a place to click for volunteers. And it talks about all the different ones. There's dental professionals, non-dental professionals, what different areas that you can talk about, and you'll get a hold of Erica at work, and she'll take good care of you. As far as donating, you can go online and donate, or you can contact me directly. This is my cell phone, 651-621-0751.
And you're going to answer
I'll answer it. Yes, I will.
Yep.
And when you're talking about donating, and because you said it, every time someone comes to the door, it says that they're with nonprofit, fill in the blank. The hand is always facing upwards, because everyone's always looking for
and everybody's getting hit.
A donation. And I found that from my perspective, when I know specifically where that money is going as opposed to the general fund.
Right.
Yeah, she's going into the general fund so we can pay salaries. And it's like, okay.
That's sexy.
Yeah, that is really sexy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
As opposed to going to, we want to put in nitrous oxide in the thing, and here's the system.
Yep.
And this is what the cost is, and here's the installer that's going to do it, and now it's a goal. Yep. That we can do that for. That it seems like there can be more buy-in for that.
Exactly.
Or even the individual programming, like I don't know what programming you have even, but individual programming, like a transportation fund, where it's like, okay, here's transportation programming. We're doing this because we're partnering with Metro, MTC, or whoever.
Sure.
To provide transportation for these people. Uber, we're going with Uber. Yep. Uber's going to drive you here, and they've given us a break and a special number, and the drivers all wear pink hats.
And we have a line item for that to fund it, so we can take care of that. Same thing for seniors, outreach, veterans, outreach, kids. I mean, almost make for lack of a better term, you'll understand it's a business plan.
Yeah.
What's the business model for how you're going to get there? What are the costs going to be? and what's the impact going to be. I can tell you what the impact is because we talk to people every day what the impact's going to be, the needs out there. So that creates kind of a model to say, God, I want to be a part of that, or people who have a heart for veterans, that kind of thing. So
same thing holds with the volunteering request, because we could volunteer, both of us, 80 hours a week, just with all the organizations that we touch that could use help.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so I like this, like to do something, but I don't want to commit to 20 hours a week here, coming in every night and sweeping the floors. You know what? You need that, right? You need janitorial service. That would be a decent thing for someone to be able to come in and do that. But so what are the commitment levels of volunteer service?
What do you want to do?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Again, tell a story. Here's what we're doing. You say, man, I'm interested. Well, that's great. What are you thinking? Let's talk together. I had a guy in Denver who ran kind of the entertainment guide for Douglas County and for other places. The magazines you get with the coupon stuff. All these partnerships, right? And so we were talking about it. We kind of told him about what's going on with what we were doing and stuff. And man, it touched his heart, especially for kids. So he's like, man, I was up in Breckenridge and I was eating the fat food and drinking and stuff. And a buddy of mine said, I can't do any of that because I'm training for a 5K. And Robbie says, well, I'm training for a 1K. And so, exactly. So that's what he came up with. We did a 6-block event. And the name of the organization was Six C-Corps. We called it 6 Block for C-Corps. We had a hospital at the 3, doctors at the 3-block mark. We had cheerleaders at the end. And so when they got to the finish line after 6 blocks, there was food, ice cream, wings, all pizza, all that kind of stuff. We're sitting there because we had to replenish. So he's wildly creative, and he had all these partnerships. I said, well, what do you want to do? So it's the same way. Let's have fun. Let's be creative. It's a serious need, but we don't have to be always serious about
That is a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
it is.
6 blocks for
You get a lot more participation out of that than
I'm in.
I'm not in for 5K, but I'll walk 6 blocks for a bucket of wings.
That's right.
I'll just walk and walk and walk. I love walking. But
all right, so
is there anything that we didn't ask that we should know? Or the listeners should know.
I don't think so. Just when you go home tonight, you drive in your neighborhood, just realize that about 1 in every 9 household in your neighborhood are struggling. They're hurting. Because that's the ramping up of suburban poverty. So it's 1 in every 9 household, and they're struggling. They're having conversations behind closed doors. It may look good on the outside, but inside it's not so good. They're having a hard time. So how do we help them out? That's why we're here.
Mike Dwork, Development Director for Hope Dental Clinic. It's hopedentalclinic.org. Please go there, check it out, donate, give them a couple of bucks, maybe volunteer. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. I'm Keith Hittner Sr., along with the lovely and talented Sheila Hittner, and we'll see you next week.
But when he calls me sugar, I love that man with all my might. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the afternoon. Sugar after dinner, sugar in every room. He says I'm sweet as I can be. When he calls me that name, it does things to me. I tell him, honey, you can call me sugar.